Most people believe that life slows down after 60. That time will gift them peace. That retirement means rest and joy. But the truth is far more brutal. What really happens is that time, if left unchecked, doesn't give peace. It quietly punishes. Not with loud crashes or warnings, but with slow, creeping erosion. It's not the disasters we see coming that destroy our later years. It's the ones we never see. The small choices, the silent habits, the quiet mistakes we make over and over. And by the time we realize what went wrong, we've already lost precious time we'll never get back. This is not about fear, it's about awareness. Because the difference between living your later years fully or dying a little more every day comes down to avoiding just 5 dangerous mistakes. 5. Yet 97% of people walk right into them. Blind, unaware, until it's too late. The first mistake begins the day you stop moving. Not just walking, moving with purpose, with energy. The moment you sit too long, skip your daily walk, dismiss the stiffness in your joints. That's the day decline begins. Not because of age, but because of stillness. A body at rest stays at rest. Muscles weaken, bones lose density, balance fades. But what makes this mistake lethal is that it doesn't scream, it whispers. You've earned rest. Take it easy. You're too old for that now. Lies wrapped in comfort, and people believe them. So they slow down, then stop altogether. And before they know it, stairs become impossible. Bending becomes painful. Independence vanishes. You don't lose your body in one day. You lose it in 1,000 little decisions to sit, delay, and ignore. Movement is not optional. It's survival. And the longer you postpone it, the harder it is to get it back. Start with 10 minutes, then 15, then 30. Walk, stretch. Dance in your living room if you must, but never stop moving. Not until your last breath. The second mistake is isolation. Loneliness is not just sadness, it's sickness. Studies have shown that chronic loneliness has the same impact on your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let that sink in. Yet millions of older adults end up alone. Not because they want to be, but because they allow the gap to grow. They stop calling, stop visiting. They wait for someone else to reach out. And when no one does, they retreat further. They must be busy. I don't want to be a burden. These thoughts become walls, and those walls become prisons. Your soul needs connection like your body needs oxygen. When we were younger, we fought for friendships, we chased them. But somewhere along the way, we stopped. We thought life would keep people close. It doesn't. You have to fight for connection at every stage. That means picking up the phone even when it feels awkward. That means inviting someone for coffee even when you're nervous. That means showing up even when it's easier to stay home. Because without connection, life becomes a slow, silent death. Not physical, emotional, and that's far worse. The third mistake is ignoring purpose. After 60, people retire from jobs, but they also unknowingly retire from meaning, and that is fatal. Humans are not machines. We don't shut off and coast. We are wired for purpose, to build, to serve, to create. The day you stop having something to wake up for is the day you start dying in pieces. It doesn't have to be a big mission. It could be a garden, volunteering, writing letters, mentoring someone. But there must be something that tells you I still matter. Because when you lose that, you lose your spark. And when the spark dies, everything else follows. You see it in the eyes of people who have given up. That dullness, that fading light. They still breathe, but they're no longer alive. Don't let your identity be defined by what you used to do. Create a new chapter. Write a new role. You're not finished, you are just beginning again. The fourth mistake is financial denial. This one is silent but savage. People think they've planned enough, saved enough, but life after 60 is expensive in ways no one tells you. Healthcare, emergencies, inflation, dependence. And when the money starts thinning, panic sets in. But instead of facing it, people often avoid it. They don't check their accounts. They don't adjust their spending. They pretend it will all work out, until it doesn't. And then dignity is traded for dependency. It doesn't have to be this way. Facing your finances may be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Track your expenses, seek advice, downsize if needed. Pride cannot pay bills. What matters is freedom, control, peace of mind. Money is not everything, but when it runs out, it becomes the only thing you think about. Don't let that happen. Don't trade your later years for a lifestyle you can't afford. Be smart, be honest, and make the adjustments early. The fifth and final mistake is carrying silent regret. Regret is a thief. It doesn't just rob your past, it poisons your present. It tells you it's too late. It repeats your failures in an endless loop. The relationship you didn't fix, the dream you didn't chase, the words you never said. And because you carry it silently, it grows. Older adults often smile on the outside and bleed on the inside, not from illness, from memory, from guilt. But here's the truth that most never hear. You are allowed to let go. You are allowed to forgive yourself. You are allowed to begin again, even if you're 70 or 80 or 90. Time doesn't erase pain, but courage transforms it. Speak what hurts. Write what lingers. Call the person, apologize, or just admit that you didn't know better then. You are not your worst moment. You are what you choose to do with the time you have left. Regret dies when action begins. So take the step, even a small one. Don't die holding the story that could have healed you. These 5 mistakes aren't loud. That's what makes them dangerous. They arrive gently, dressed as rest, comfort, routine. They make you feel safe. But in reality, they drain you slowly, like a slow leak in a tire. You keep going until one day you're stuck, unable to move, trapped, and wondering where all of your years went. The saddest part is this: 97% of people will make these mistakes. Not because they're weak, but because they don't know what's happening. No one told them. No one warned them. And by the time they realize it, the damage is deep. But you're reading this. You've been warned. You now hold a mirror that shows you exactly what to avoid. That makes you part of the 3% who still have a choice. That's power. Not loud power, quiet power. The kind that changes lives, not with noise, but with decisions, with discipline, with awareness. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be intentional. Wake up and move. Reach out and connect. Find a reason to get up. Face your finances. Heal your regrets. That's not easy, but it's worth it. Every day you wake up and choose to avoid these 5 mistakes is a day you win back your life. Not someday. Today. The power of a long life is not in how many years you live. It's in how deeply you live each one. And that depth begins with awareness, with truth, with hard choices. You will age, your body will change, time will pass. That is guaranteed. But decay? That's optional. Despair? That's preventable. Regret? That can be rewritten. You just have to see clearly. And now you do. This message is not a warning. It is an invitation to rise, to live fully, to not let comfort become your cage. or silence your prison. Don't wait for a heart attack to value your health. Don't wait for loneliness to make you pick up the phone. Don't wait until your bank account is empty to take action. Don't wait until you're too weak to walk to realize the price of sitting still. And don't wait for your deathbed to say what needed to be said when you were alive. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just stop making these 5 mistakes. That alone will transform your life. And if you do that, then your later years won't be years of decline. They'll be years of peace, of impact, of quiet strength. Imagine waking up not with regret but with purpose. Imagine walking into your 70s, 80s, or even 90s not with fear but with fire. That's possible, not because life is easy, but because you chose not to repeat what others did. This is your chance. Most people don't get one. Most people will never read this. They will continue on, walking towards silent destruction. But not you. You're awake now, and once you see, you cannot unsee. So walk forward with clarity, with courage, and with the wisdom that even time bows to the person who uses it well. These 5 mistakes have ruined millions. Don't let them ruin you. Not because you're afraid, but because you now know better. And when you know better, you do better. And when you do better, you live better. Not just longer, deeper. That is the real goal. That is the real gift. Don't waste it.